Dry fasting is not a detox. It is a full-scale cellular reset, and it is time the world sees it that way, not as a trend, not as a quick fix, but as an ancient biological intelligence buried under the noise of modern convenience. This is not about starving. This is about remembering what the body knew long before supplements and syringes. Before smoothies and superfoods, there was silence, there was stillness, and there was the sacred absence of consumption. For thousands of years, sages, mystics, warriors, and ascetics practiced intentional abstention not only from food but from water itself to unlock something deeper than energy. It was not to cleanse, it was to rewire. Today we call it dry fasting. And while it may sound radical in a world that fears discomfort, it is one of the oldest reset buttons coded into our biology. The first thing you must understand is that dry fasting is not water fasting. It is deeper, it is sharper. It is more dangerous if abused and far more powerful when respected. It is the deliberate decision to eat no food and drink no water at all during a defined window of time. And yes, you heard that right. No water at all. Not even a sip. Not even mouth rinsing. But before we go any further, hear this. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. Not alone. Do not attempt dry fasting without proper guidance and medical advice, especially if you are pregnant, diabetic, have kidney conditions, or are on any medication. Now, if you are still listening and still curious, understand this. When you dry fast, you are forcing the body into an ancient mode of operation. The body enters a state of autophagy, where broken, dead, or malfunctioning cells are digested and recycled. Imagine your body sending in a cleanup crew to clear out trash, debris, and malfunctioning hardware. This is autophagy, and dry fasting supercharges it, because the absence of water forces the body to break down its own damaged cells to generate internal water through fat metabolism. This is not detoxing through juices. This is detoxing through fire and pressure. This is the body turning inward, drawing from reserves both physical and spiritual. And this is where the real magic begins. Dry fasting triggers what researchers call apoptosis, which is cellular suicide. Your body intelligently eliminates the weak cells, the precancerous cells, the inflamed cells, and reboots the system. It is like a hard reset on your entire operating system. And this happens without pills, without powders, and without gimmicks. But with that said, dry fasting is not for everyone. It is not a game. The risks are real. The first signs of danger are usually dizziness, dehydration, headaches, and fatigue. If you experience these, you must stop immediately. Dry fasting should never be attempted for more than 24 hours by a beginner. Never start dry fasting cold, but instead begin with intermittent fasting. Then experiment with water fasting for short windows. And only when your body is adapted and your lifestyle is controlled should you begin dry fasting. And even then, under observation and education, the safest way to begin is with what is called a soft, dry fast. This means you do not eat or drink, but you can still bathe, brush, and have water contact with your skin. A hard, dry fast goes a step further and forbids even touching water with your body. This is said to accelerate healing because the skin does not absorb any external moisture, which intensifies the internal conversion of fat into metabolic water. But again, this is not something to pursue recklessly. There are some people who push the body to extremes with 5-day or even 7-day dry fasts. But you must understand they have trained for this. Just as an athlete does not run a marathon without months of preparation, your body must be eased into this ancient reset. For those who are ready, who have been living clean, eating well, meditating deeply, and fasting regularly, the effects of dry fasting can be profound. Clearer skin, sharper mental clarity, anti-inflammatory effects, emotional release, and even spiritual breakthroughs can occur. Because the body is no longer digesting food or processing water, it turns all its energy inward and begins repairing, recalibrating, and reconnecting. This is where the myth ends and the mystery begins. Some cultures believed dry fasting was a portal to higher realms, a state where the soul could hear itself again, without the noise of digestion or the burden of worldly desire, and there is truth in that. Fasting, especially dry fasting, has the potential to awaken dormant awareness. to unmute the ancient voice inside your cells, a voice that says, I can heal, I can adapt, I can evolve. When you stop consuming the external, your body consumes the internal. You begin to see what you are truly made of. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are not dependent. You are adaptive, resilient, and designed to heal. And the reset you are looking for is not in another prescription. It is in this sacred pause. You may feel tired. You may feel thirsty. And you may feel 100 thoughts rising. But if you do this wisely, with supervision, hydration before and refeeding after, with proper electrolyte understanding and real intent, the body will show you something miraculous. It will show you how much power is hidden behind your cravings, how much energy is buried beneath your excuses, how much potential is stored in your discipline. But again, never drive fast on a whim. Never do it during illness, during extreme heat, or without guidance. This is an elite protocol for advanced practitioners, not a shortcut for weight loss, not a TikTok trend, certainly not a substitute for professional care. The cellular reset of dry fasting is triggered by your body creating its own water through fat metabolism, known as metabolic water. And during this process, inflammation decreases, white blood cells regenerate, and hormonal balance begins to restore itself. All of this happens when the body is no longer distracted by digestion. It is the difference between cleaning a house while people are partying inside versus cleaning it in silence, with the doors locked and everyone gone. Dry fasting is that silence. It is that locked door. It is the sacred pause that lets the body do what it has been trying to do for years: heal and align. But be warned, this is not for those who dabble. This is for those who are ready to listen to their body, ready to go into the deep cave of craving, and come out reborn. And if you are still here, if you feel something inside you awakening, some ancient hunger for mastery, for clarity, for the truth within, then join our Telegram channel where we discuss these protocols with seriousness and brotherhood, because this path is not meant to be walked alone, and the wisdom of dry fasting is too sacred to be misused or misunderstood. Remember, it is not just about removing toxins. It is about removing noise, removing distraction, removing weakness, and rediscovering the intelligence of your own biology. Dry fasting is not a detox. It is a rebirth at the cellular level. It is the reminder that nature has already written the code for healing inside your flesh. You only need to step out of the way and let it run. And in that stillness, in that fire, in that fast, you will find not just a cleaner body, but a clearer soul. And that is something no supplement can ever provide.